I can say this as founder of a volleyball app that has gotten pretty big, is when we first started off, it was just like, yeah, drop in volleyball. You just kind of show up and you play, and there wasn't too much to it. But over time, we started seeing this issue where people started like looking internally to see, okay, what games are the highest level? Like what games do the most competitive people go to? And they started trying to find ways to book those games. And then so we just added this kind of simple rule of like, all right, games can be, we did beginner and advanced. Those were our two starting skill levels, right? But then we started having this issue where, people would go to a beginner game and see it was just like a lot of people who have never played before. And then they'd go, okay, this clearly isn't for me because I've played a couple times before, so I'm just going to go to advanced, right? So then we added, intermediate in the middle. And there was this kind of weird just escalation of problems as the community grew, where we eventually had to add like really strict requirements, like minimum skill level requirements for each level. And then eventually we had to add a quiz to book at the intermediate level or above. And eventually we had to break down our skill levels like into a ton of different levels. So beginner, recreational, high recreational, intermediate, high intermediate, advanced. And then eventually we had to add like a tryout system and a banning system where if people aren't performing at a certain level, they get timed out at that level and above for a certain number of months. And even now we're making tweaks where we're changing the requirements for our high recreational level to, we're actually increasing them a little bit just so that kind of like the lowest level above recreational for us has some kind of base standard that's really clear and obvious for players. And we also had to set up like game hosts who evaluate people. So yeah, this space is really, really tough because you kind of just, as the community grows, you kind of start seeing more and more edge cases that you have to build around. Because it's not enough that like 1 in 100 people will be breaking the rules. The issue is if people see 1 in 100 people breaking the rules, they just go, okay, well then why the hell am I following these rules too if this person's getting away with it? And then you just see like cascading, more and more people start breaking the rules and the overall quality of your community goes down. So building a community is very tough because as soon as things start becoming successful, you have to just keep adding more and more on top of it.